Hi, I'm Joel Ort, and today we're going to build another project for you. This is going to be a metal storage rack. On the floor you see here, I have the main frame laid out already and squared up. So the first step for this project is going to be to weld this frame together. Once the frame's welded together, I will tip the frame upright and then weld these feet on. There'll be one on each side in 3 locations, as you can see, the 2 ends and the middle. So that will hold the storage rack up nice and straight and sturdy. Once we have that done, the next step would be to weld these supports on. And I'll take these and I'm going to center them on each one of these uprights so that I will have storage on both sides of the rack. On the support, you can see here, there's a vertical piece on each end. If you have round bar, round stock on that wants to roll, it's just to keep metal from falling off. A fairly straightforward project, something that you can easily do at home yourself, and we're going to go ahead and get started. So as I mentioned earlier, as soon as we finished welding the frame up on the floor, I got it tilted up right now and I want to weld the feet on. I'm going to use this square on every one of these just to make sure that we're at 90 degrees and the feet are straight. And it's as simple as that. We'll go ahead and get the 6 of these welded on and then we'll get going on the arms. So I'm running into an issue here where my concrete floor isn't exactly flat in every area for this project. That's probably typical of most floors. So what I'm doing is taking the time using some shims on this project here. So each one of these feet, what I need to do is, besides getting it square, it also needs to be level with the frame. And then we need to be square coming off the frame, and then obviously we need to be square with the frame vertical to the foot. So there's 3 different areas that you really need to pay attention to here so that you have everything straight. Alright, so we're at the point we have the feet welded on. The rack is standing upright. The next step is going to be marking where all of my shelves are going to go. And so what I've done is I'm going to have 4 of these arms on each post. And the bottom 2 I kept a little bit farther apart because my larger material will go towards the bottom, so I don't have to lift it all the way up top. So I gave that a little bit more room as you acquire more pieces and you need to pile it up. So what I'm going to do next is finish marking the other 2 uprights, and then I'll take my clamps and clamp the shelving or the arms on here, supports, whatever you want to call them. I'll clamp those on and I'll weld all those up, and I'll make sure they're level using my square. And from there we should be finished. So what I decided to do after the project was just about complete was add a couple of forklift pockets onto this framework. The reason for that is if I want to move this around, I will probably bolt it to the floor for safety purposes, but if I do need to move it somewhere, I can come in with the forklift that I have, run through the pockets, pick this up, and slide it anywhere in the shop and relocate it if I want to reorganize my shop. Some people might ask, why are you putting them on top? Well, for me, it's just personal preference. I'm going to take the feet that were down below, and I'm going to use those also as metal storage, so these would just get in the way of that. Plus, I just prefer, I guess, to lift this rack from the top, maybe for a little more stability versus the bottom and have it wobbling on me. So I'm finished with the project now, and just to recap a little bit, I built my particular rack 8 feet long. I don't have room for 20-foot long pieces that the metal suppliers typically have everything in for tubing, angle iron, and that. So I get it at home here. I cut it down to 10 feet. And so I built my rack 8 feet, so I'll hang off a foot each end, and that's what I wanted, so I could pull items off the end individually. Another thing that I was thinking of as I was finishing it up, you know how it is, you're working on a project, you wind up with short pieces. Well, in between here, so I have roughly 4 feet in between these uprights. What do I do with that 2-foot, 3-foot chunk of metal that I don't want to throw out? I can save it for another project. So I think what I might do in the future is take some 1/8 inch sheet and maybe come up about 4 inches on the upright and then come across here and just go between 2 of the uprights. That way on those shorter pieces I can still lay them in there. It'll hold it up. With the 4 inches on the back, they won't push off the side or through the middle to the other side. So I think I'll do that. But again, these projects are all ideas. Make it your own. If you need yours taller, longer, wider, whatever, this project works for me. Make your project your own and have fun with it.